Hey everyone, welcome to another webinar for Rocket Week. The Rocket Week is over, but again, the main feature day of Rocket Week is right now with us. Welcome Pratik from MakeStories. Pratik, thank you so much for joining in. And of course, before we even start, MakeStories is the pioneer in the area of web stories. So I think if you heard of them it's 6 years before, like there you are, right? There we have
Yep.
Pratik bringing MakeStories and NITT on RocketHub. And you're going to see it live if you have never seen the product from inside. So this is your chance. Pratik, again, thank you so much for taking your time from your schedule. I know you're
No,
working with multiple things right now. So, saving some time for the Rocket Hub community is very grateful. So again, welcome and thank you so much for joining with us today.
my pleasure. Cool. So I think this webinar was very much needed because there are two things. Number one, not many people actually know about what web stories is. So this is in fact our first product. So before Make Forms, we actually built Make Stories, and we've been building it since 2018. So it's a decent 6.5 year journey with Make Stories, and it's kind of it's a product that has evolved over time. So in 2018, I think Google came up with this thing called Web Stories in Amsterdam. Okay, and we were like, okay, and in those days there was something called as AMP HTML, which Google said that they were trying to improve the speed of websites, and so they came up with their own HTML framework. We knew about it a little bit a year earlier, since 2017, because we worked on it, and since we were working on AMP, we knew about web stories, and so we started coding our own web stories. And within a short period of time, we understood that no one is going to actually hand code the stories, and so we said that we really need to build a WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get editor, something like Canva. And then we started building Make Stories, and in 2019 we launched Make Stories version 1. Then in 2020 we launched Make Stories version 2.0. And then this year in 2024 we launched Make Stories version 3.0. So if you see web stories, okay, they are actually launched officially by Google in three countries, namely the India, the US, and the Brazil. So and these kind of web stories actually get listed on Discover. And what we have seen is that some of our clients, like who receive good traffic, they receive about 100, 200, sometimes even 400,000 visitors to one story in one day. But I would say this is, like web stories are like fish. They don't have a shelf life. Okay. Like it's not going to be getting you 100,000, sorry, 100,000 visits every day. It gives you, so it's really good for those people who want to, show the traffic growth, who want to increase the what do you say, the domain authority, because when you get so many visits to Discover and Discover is starting to like you, you can like it really changes the perspective of your domain. So anyone who is looking at this from an SEO point of view, I feel that WebStories is a great tool, and MakeStories actually helps you create those web stories. And in the recent MakeStories 3.0 version, we have come up with a couple of AI features, which definitely there have been questions about. So when it comes to AI features, the entire scripting part is definitely something that is on us. But high consuming APIs like voiceovers and the image generation is something that we are not taking on us, because that will definitely make the deal unsustainable. So that being said, now let's jump into the tool. So if you are a Make Forms user already, you will find quite a bit of resemblance, because it's almost the same dashboard. So let me actually, how do I turn this? So this is the dashboard. There are the story analytics. I don't use the stories myself much, so I don't have those analytics. But MakeStories comes with its own analytics. Plus, you can pull in the Google Analytics also. This is something interesting, which is something that we'll see soon. Then this is the fonts again. Like this is very similar to make forms. In fact, not similar, but it's exactly what you see in like make forms. So here you can upload, you can create your new weights and things like that. And then you've got widgets. This is very interesting because here you get to create widgets like the Instagram kind of bubbles. So I would say it really is not for people who are looking only and only for SEO traffic. Like we have this Al Mashad. It's a Dubai based like news company. If you see, they are using these things over here. Okay, this is RTL, sorry. So it goes like that. So when you click this, it opens up the story. So it's not only for those people who want to have SEO, but also for those who want to, like give small glimpse of their product. And if you see this, if you are a blogger yourself, now Al Mashad, literally what they're doing is they are having the stories on top of their website. And now when you load those stories and when you go through them one by one, you can see that after a certain slide, there can be an ad also that's coming up. So it's also good for monetizing. So if you have a good blog traffic, we would strongly recommend that you use web stories because it can be useful in multiple ways. So these are the widgets that you can create. Then there's something called as domains. Again, this is with make forms, it's like you can just connect your subdomain. But with make stories, you can actually connect your subdomain. Whenever you want to have a reverse proxy, what you'll have to do is you'll have to reach out to our team because reverse proxy management is something that is like quite a DevOps intensive task. So we like do it over support. Then you come to the general settings, and here you have workspace settings where you can, like on every workspace level, you can decide your SEO settings like your publisher name, your author type. So if it's say I'm a person or I'm an organization, then what will be your story language? Then location language is something, like this is the language in which you want to show the location tags in your show. This is something which I'll show you inside. Then there's something called as branding. So you can add your logo, you can add your favicon, you can add your brand colors. So let's say if I add multiple brand colors and I save them, then these brand colors will be available in the color picker inside. Then you can also set your typography, like let's say I want to set this as Poppins, okay, Poppins light, and I would say this would be 30 pixel and headers will always be red, for example. So you can set all of these things. And this is an option which says remove style while pasting. So this is for the time when, like if you're copying your content from Word document and pasting it here, then all the styling that you had in the Word document, it won't be carry forwarded here. You can save those details. And then there's something called as advertising setup. So here you can connect your AdSense and your Google Ad Manager. Plus, you can also have it as a custom. So if you have some another ad network that is being supported by AMP, you can bring it up over here. And this is a bulk update. So this basically means that if you are changing the settings, let's say the advertising setup, and you want to just do a bulk update for all the stories, you now want this new like ad board to come on all your stories, you can just do bulk update. Then there's something called as domain settings. So this is domain level settings. So let's say you have your Google Analytics and your Facebook pixel tracking, which can put in here. And then if you have AMP supported custom analytics script, you can put that also. Then those are the two different kinds of story listing pages. So with every like domain that you connect, you get your own custom page. So let me show you. So this Ohio State University is our client. So they have selected this particular. like page design, which is this one, like this one. So you can, so we have two templates right now that you can choose from, and then it's the members. In here you don't get much of the control, like the granular level of controls, because there's not much to do in stories. Then there is billing. Add-ons is something that the LTD community won't see, because they can connect their own like 11 Labs and Leonardo API keys, and then you have the invoices. So now let's jump to the major part, which is like creating a story. So you can either start from scratch, or you can use the AI story creator. What I'll do is, first I will start from scratch, and then we'll jump into the AI story creator, because MakeStories itself has like so many different features that it will take us almost 30 to 45 minutes to go through everything. So let's say I would name this story as RocketHub, Rocket Week. And let's continue. Now you can see that again, we follow the same, like, what do you say, the same approach of left panel, the canvas, and the right panel. So this has been the theme for most of our products. And when I say products, I really mean that we are literally building quite a few products. So the thing is that on the left hand side, you will always add the things, and on the middle side, and this in the middle, you have the canvas. And on the right hand side, you will do all those settings. So anyone who has used Make Forms, they are already aware of this. So here, the first thing that you see at the top is the background. So even in the background, there are so many different kinds of backgrounds that you can actually use. So let's say we start with colors. So you can add colors as a background. And if you don't like any of these colors, then you can actually select the colors that you want. And here, if you see, so these are the colors that we had set for our brand in the settings. So you can just do anything. And then let's say if you have a code, so let's say I have FE. So you can just enter your color code over here. Then you have something called as gradients. So these are the pre-built gradients, and then you can just go in and you can actually create your own gradient. So you have an option to create a radial gradient or a linear gradient, and then select the direction of it. And then whenever you want to actually add a new point, you would just do this. So this in fact within itself is, I would say, a whole, like kind of a designer. You can flip the points, then you can decide the angle and all those things. So I'm not a great designer, by the way, so please don't judge me through this. Then there are pre-built textures, so you can use those textures to improvise your design. Then you can have an image. Now the good part is that, let's say I will just search for New York City and hit enter. I will put in this image. Now, what you will do is you will double click this. So this comes in, and then you will zoom it in, and then you can place like wherever you want. So now you see how easy it was. Similarly, you can add videos. You can search for videos. You can add them. And then with the videos, you get different kinds of settings. Like, do you want the video to loop? Do you want to mute the video, like the audio inside the video? And then there is this alignment. Like, you want it at the top, you want it like full cover, or you want it at the bottom. And then you can add a title. You can add video captions. So for this, you will need a VRT file. And then whether you use an image or you use a video, you can always actually use filters on top of it. Actually, the image is loading. So you can always use the filters. So like this. And then if you don't like the filters that we have, you can actually just change the contrast and everything by yourself. Then there's something called as GIFs. So you can add the GIFs to your slide. Um, then again, like with the GIFs also, you can always go in and you can change the filters. Now there's something called as overlay. So now let's delete this and let's go back to our image. We'll come back to the overlay at the later side. So we'll see something called as animated. So we've got these kind of animated backgrounds. So like the small animation, then there's this bokeh effect. Again, like if you want to change anything, you will always do it on the right hand side. So let's say here you have the customization. So let's say I want to change the colors. So I can just literally change the colors so easily. So I would say that apart from just the web stories, if you are also looking to create vertical content, you can look at web stories, because anything that you see here, you can always export it as a video. So we have these kind of different options here. And then there's the glitch effect that I love like a lot. So in the glitch effect, you can select any image that you want, and this glitch effect will be applied. Then there's something called as mask effect, wherein you can select multiple images and you can select the effect which you want to have. So you can see the way this happens is that the effect changes. Then there's something called as paperbird. Again, go to customize, change the colors, and do whatever you want. Then there's something called as Google Images. So let's say we search for so you can use the images fetched directly from Google. So these are the kind of features that is only for the background. Okay, and now we'll come back to the first thing that I was talking about, which is the overlay. So let's put this image and let's name this. In fact, let's add a text element and let's name it 10 places.
It's something like 10 places to visit in New York City.
Okay, so and then with the text also, if you see, I've placed it at the bottom, and it really does not like come out, it does not stand out. So in that case, what you will do is you will turn on the overlay, and then you will actually decide how to till where you want to stretch it. And now what you can do is it's still not that visible. So I'll just go into the text, and I will just go into the appearance, and I will change the color. So now you can see it has got this getup, and then you can always go in, you can change the text, you can change the font, and then if you see the kind of features that you have, like you can uppercase this, and then lowercase, capitalize, bold, italic, underline. Then you can also do the letter spacing. So it's got everything that a design tool needs. Then this is something that I love a lot. So let's say I put in a 1 pixel stroke size, and I'm creating this effect. Okay, so I have white color as my stroke color. I go into the appearance, and what I'll do is for my color, the color of the text, what I'll do is I will just reduce the opacity to 0. Okay, so now you can see with this text, and actually I can increase the font size. So if you see this now, okay, this is the whole new style of font, and the point is that many times you would have to choose a font that is outline font, but with this kind of feature, the best thing is that you literally can do it on any font. So let's say if I'm searching for Inter, I can use this particular style on Inter. So like this is the level of depth and the thought process that has gone over in the past 5 years into building like MakeStories. So, and then you can always have filters to any component. Then this is something called as preset ruler. So you can just say that, okay, I'll put a ruler at 20 pixels. So now when you do that, you have the rulers at 20 pixel. Okay. Yeah. And then so you know that, okay, these are my borders and I don't want to go beyond this. And you can decide if you want it to be 20, 30, or 40. So any questions till now?
Yep, we have. I'll just help you out. All right. I This is a question from Abhishek. I would love to know about if there is any decision of about inclusion of trending topics.
Yeah, I think
That
this
feature
was
will.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
this was asked. I think we need certain amount of time, because like there's need to be a brainstorming on how we will be doing this, and like we really need to think about it. So, but there is definitely a possibility uh, to get that done. Is it possible to organize stories if we add a subdomain? No. So the stories are listed on their own. There's no way to organize them now. What are the advantages of adding stories through the usual through the WordPress plugin versus the embed code? Uh this is a good question. I would say so. The first thing is that mm, so it really doesn't matter. Like if you put it through WordPress plugin or you embed this. And by the way, WordPress plugin, do you mean the MakeStories WordPress plugin or the another WordPress plugin?
Well, I think the Make Stories one, which you have,
Yeah, I think it
through.
really doesn't matter. It's completely up to
Yeah.
you. Feel free to do it as you
Mhm.
will. Will Google
Yep.
support WordPress for long because they usually drop down? I feel, see, the thing is that when we talk about the other products like let's say Google Chat or something else. The problem with those products is that it's not native to the Google ecosystem. But if you see web stories, they're native to the web ecosystem, and it really doesn't take much for Google to like Google does not have to do anything today. But if the stories are coming up, if the content is getting consumed, then Google will do it. Why not? That's so we strongly feel that there is no reason for Google to actually go in and kill this product.
Mhm.
Okay, so the
Makes
next
sense.
question is, can we see, just give me 1 second.
Yep.
Okay, so can we see CT analytics? Yes, you can see that. So in Google Analytics, you will have to configure that. Uh, I can actually share you one resource with this very soon. Or else I'll create a video and send it to you. The next question, are the videos safe to use? Yeah, so we would say that we use pixels. Okay, and so I would strongly recommend this is like it's royalty free is what they claim, but if you guys have any doubt, uh so we really do not have any liability if Pexel screws up on something, because it's no way we can actually go in and look at every video that Pexels is uploading. So I would say whenever you are using Pexels, it's always good to refer to that terms of use. But because we have tried our best to use the open source images as well as the videos, so always feel free to do your own due delegation. Good. A better way to do this is if you don't want to use our API key or something like that, you can always go in, you can download the videos or images, and you can always upload them to MakeStories. So for audio, if I remove an audio from a slide, I cannot add another one to the same slide. Is it a bug? Let's see. So let's go to the add-ons, the audio, and let's add this. And now we are saying that if you remove this, you cannot add it. I can add it. I'm not sure. So yeah, please try it again. If you have a problem, please raise a support ticket. Is there a way to make horizontal or square? No. So right now it's only vertical. We do not envision doing it horizontal. We tried to brainstorm for quite some time, but it turned out that the horizontal is not coming in very soon, and every format is actually moving to vertical these days. Question about the storage: is it calculated only for the assets uploaded or cumulative storage, including space of generated storage? If it's no, so it's only for the content that you upload. How can I publish a make stories as a Facebook story? So you'll have to click on export. Okay, you'll have to click on MP4. Then when you have your story exported, you will get two options. You'll get it as an image, and you will also get it as a what do you say, as a video. So then you
Before.
can decide you want what you want to do with it. So it takes a decent amount of time. Then Google Story is only available in US. How about other again, like we really do not know. Uh, if Google is going to kind of support it in other countries. It's always impossible, not even difficult, but impossible to predict what will Google do next. So I have no answers, and I would like to be honest about it rather
Holding.
than like giving you false hopes about it. And Google Stories only available in yeah. Is there a way to turn auto advance for all the slide at once? That was in fact recommended by a lot of people, but we actually never found a good way to do it. So for now, it's on per slide basis only. What do I need to do to index this web story so that Google appear in Google Discover? So the thing is that whenever you do this, let's say you have, for example, osu.story, you always get a sitemap.xml file. Just take that file and put it out as a sitemap. You can submit it to Google. Does make sure it supports any simplified languages? So the first thing is that if it also should be supported by Google, it's not just us, but if Google supports it, so you can always go to AI Story Creator, and there is traditional and simplified channels. So the answer is yes. And what you can always do is that you can go to the general settings. You can have the like the story language. Just find the story language from here and set it up. I don't see add after so Franco, I think the problem here would be that you might have some what do you say, a an ad blocker, so that also creates an issue sometime. Cool. So just try to turn off your ad blocker if you have any, and if you still face the issue, please let us know. Cool. So now back to here. So
Yep.
this is something we saw, that how you can set up the background. Now there's something, an interesting feature called multiple backgrounds, which is very amazing. So let's say for this, what you can do is, for example, I'm adding this particular uh, color background. Now I can add another background layer, and what I can do is I can add an image. On top of that, let's say I want to add one more background layer, and let's say we'll say waves, for example. Okay, and I add this. Mm, so let's say we add this video. So now the thing is that we have merged multiple backgrounds into one. And here what you can do is you can always go into the image, you can go into the color, and then in the appearance you can select the blend mode. So you can multiply, you can use screen. Let's say over here I want to use an overlay. So if you have that creativity of using blend modes, you can always play with them, and it will really, it comes out. We've seen people using it to the extent, and they really make very beautiful stuff using this multiple backgrounds actually. So let's say I put in a color, and now when you play this, like you have this color, then you have this video and this New York image, and it's all blend into one thing. So this is an amazing feature. So it's as I did mention that don't see this as just a web story creation tool, but you can also see this as a vertical content designing tool that you can use in like for any other things. So then you can go to the templates, and this is where like it helps you speed up the process. So you can always add a complete set to your thing. And if you do that, another option is to add individual slides. So when you want to do that, you can either click on the like the slide. When you do that, what it will do is that it will just replace the content that you have on the current slide. So when I click this, it will replace my slide. But if you, let's say, want to add another slide, what you can do is you can click the plus button, and it will add a new slide, and then it will add this data over there. So these are all the templates. And let's say if you have this, for example, I have this slide, this is my own slide, I want to save it as my own template. What you can do is you can click this button, save as template, and you can say just current page. And when you do that, what it will do is that it will just save your current page. And if you want to save a multi-page template, you will just select, sorry, I was a little bit fast. So you will click this, then you will select multiple pages, and you will select all these options that you have, and then you will say, okay, save to template. So now this will create a new template with only these 5 slides. So now this template is selected. I will go to my personal template, and when I click this, um, like you can see that there's are the template sets that are added now. So this is how you can use the public templates as well as the say create your own template and then save it for later. And there is this text. So you can see that we have had set these things up in our workspace. So now here we are seeing all those styling coming forward. So these are the ones without any styling, and these are the ones with styling. And there's something called as text combination. So let's say, for example, you want to just create a new slide, and I just paste this. So now this is the entire group of text that has come up. Then you have this. So if you want to use any of these, you can, like it really does not, you don't have to do all the designing for yourself. For example, this is one which is, like very nice, simple. So this is for your quote. So these are the kind of things that you can use. And then we have something called as animated text. So for example, we want to say we are doing this, okay? So say in the right hand side, we'll say uh, just arrive first. And then you can always customize like the reveal color. And then you can go and you can change the font. So for example, put this as a circular bold. Now when you see this, when your story will load, this will come up. So we have different types of effects, like this is the reveal effect, and you can just, like kind of use it to see how it best suits your need. Always remember that you will have all these animation options in your customized tab. Then we have media library. So again, so the difference between this and this is that these goes directly into the background. But if you want to have something on the canvas, you can just click this and it will come up over here, and then you can resize it. And then if you want to, let's say, position it, you can actually just double click it and you can position the images. So you have similarly, you have images, you have free GIFs, videos, you can search from Google Images. Then this is something called as elements. So these are the CTA buttons. And then you have all those different kinds of shapes that you can use. And when you put in any shape, you can also go into the colors and you can change the colors and everything by yourself. So as I did mention, this is like a small design tool within itself. And then there's something called as auto animate. So when you click that, it will auto animate all these elements for you. Then you have something called as add-ons. We'll come at that later. In the meantime, and this is
Amazing. I saw the add-ons, right? Like they're pretty much pretty cool to imagine when you're running them on, the stories.
yeah.
Like, because it's, for example, Twitter and X. Of course, that's like the responsive thing when you run on the web stories, right?
So the Twitter is something that like actually it's deprecated by Google AMP, but we still have it because just in case someone wants to have that on their web story and still be they're okay being like AMP no without the AMP compliance, they can choose to actually use the Twitter. So
Perfect.
yeah, so that's the whole point of having the Twitter. But Twitter is long, like it's deprecated by Google for quite some time now. But yeah, apart from the Twitter, I think the polls and everything is something that is impressive. So what we'll do is we'll quickly create a new story and
Yes.
we'll actually see how you can create the polls. So as I did mention, right, you really do not have to use MakeStories only for your traffic generation. Like you can literally use MakeStories for let's say creating polls. Okay, so I'll just create a poll. Now we'll go into the add-ons and I'll just put in a quiz. Okay, so you will create a new quiz. Now here also you get an option like, do you want to create a quiz with a result screen or without a result screen? So when you say without a result screen, it's actually just the questions. The user won't be able to see any like it won't have a result. So I will just select with result screen and I'll continue. And here what you can do is you can actually decide like what exactly is going to have. So let's say we'll do the LTD world, for example. Okay. And we say that how many for every question, how many answers would you like to give? So let's say we say 4. And then here you can decide like, do you want this quiz to be in the light mode, dark mode? What would be the color, the accent color? And then do you want to have it with the score or only score an image or just an image? You don't want to have anything. And then here you would decide if you want to have it as a flat or you want to have it as a transparent. Then you will click on continue. And here what you will do is you will configure the final result. Okay, so here you would say bad, and you would say, uh, then here it would be, let's say up to 35%. Okay, and then you will say, you can actually upload the images for every option. I'm just randomly putting.
These are the results like of the
Yeah.
polls.
So these are the 4 results that we'll have for the poll. Now you click
Mm,
on continue. And here what you can do is that you can actually create all those questions. So let's say, for example, we say is absolute OG LTD, for example. And you can put the options yes, no, maybe, and then here what you can also do is you can select the emoticons. Okay, so for example, and this emoticon actually comes in when the user clicks on it, and you can also select if you want it with an image. So we can either have the image based or you can have text based quiz. So now we add another question and we'll say which image is from New York, for example. And here you will actually select that which particular option is the correct option. And here what we'll do is we'll just select the images. So this one, and then we'll also add a couple of other images. Again, now what we'll do is, so we are just restricting it to 2 questions for now, and then we'll add it to story. So what will happen is that it will create the slides for you, and you will be able to see them, like what it's going to look like. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. And now you can go in and you can click on preview. So when you click on preview, you will be able to, so now say I do no. So you see this emoticons coming up and it also shows which is the correct. And then here, let's say you do this. So here it shows. And now when you click on right, it will say, okay, you got 0%. So this is how you can have the polls working for you. And then so you similarly have polls, and then you can also have a yes no quiz. So let's say you, okay, so if and at one point in time you can have only one interactive component on a slide. So let's say you create a yes no component. Um, okay. We have it in like in one story you can have only one poll. So let's say if you
yeah,
want to,
that even makes sense.
yeah,
If you have
because
multiple polls, then that won't be relevant.
so then you can create a yes no. And then you can just decide and like you can just put in your question like And then here you can actually go in and you can change. Oh, it's too much. So, and then here you can actually go in, you can select your confetti, like, and this confetti is for everything. And by the way, this is a feature that Google have themselves. And then in the appearance, you can select the dark mode, light mode, and you can also go in and you can change the colors and everything. So, like not just yeah, and this is another option like large, small, and medium. And then you can select where you want to align. So this is, like now just imagine you can use this wherein you can show one content on one slide, and then, like on the next slide, you can ask them yes or no question. So it can also be used for creating engaging content like and this the I know I have make forms, which is an example I'm going to take. So, like forms are boring. If this and if you're not collecting personal data and you want to have like polls and opinions, you can always use things like this. So don't see make sure is just as an like just a way to create web stories. Within make stories, there's too much that you can do. Then you can also add a CTA button, and by the CTA button cannot be added on our first page because that is we don't know a rule by Google. We don't do that. Like we don't set those rules. You can select whether it's a dark mode, light mode, or you can always select an favicon. So let's say you want to have an icon, you can do that. And when you will preview the story, what will happen is that you have okay, okay. So we did not add a link. So now you have this, and you have this when it comes in for the first time, and you hover, it has this small animation coming up. And then again, if you see, we have the emoticons coming up and all those things. So I think this is net what Make Stories is. Animation is something which is very much in detailed, and I would definitely love to walk you guys through this. So let's add in a image. So for example, we have this image here and we have this text. Okay, now what you can do is that you can select this image, this text, and I would say that have a fade in effect. Now the duration for this would be 1.5 second. And when do you want to do? Let's say I would say on load, but just put in a start delay of half a second. So what will happen is that once the slide loads, it will wait for half second and then it will fade in. So let's play this. So this is how it will come up. And then what we can do is something which is amazing, which we call as chaining the animation. So let's say I want this to, for example, flying from the left, and I want it to come in slowly for 1.5 second. And what I want to do is that I want this to come after this one. So it's after your page. And then again, like after that, I want to have like a half second delay. So once your page comes in, wait for half a second, then start a new thing. And then we can also have exit animation. So you can say that, okay, fade it out and fade it out like after wait for 2 seconds and then only fade it out. And you fade it out in like 2 seconds. So it would fade out very slowly. So now when we play this entire animation, this comes in, then half a second later, this comes in, waits for 2 seconds, and then slowly fades out after 2 seconds. So, like this. So if you had to do something like this, you would need that crappy timeline and drag and drop. But now here you have this thing in your mind, and you can then, like connect this. Like I've like you can literally like say, Karan, you are explaining me, okay, I want your page to come in, then I want to do it. So that's exactly so. The whole core of building Make Stories was to build for we say build for those users who are not the power users, because not everyone is a power user. I would say in fact only 5% of people are power users. So we built Make Stories keeping in mind the general public and not the power users. Then you have something called as settings. This is amazing feature. I would love to show this. So let's delete everything for this. So we have this feature called as continuous background. And this is very good use case for, like let's zoom it to 5x, this one. Again, let's duplicate this page. And now let's zoom this out. And again, duplicate this page. Let's zoom on the chocolate. Okay, so now what continuous background actually does is that it creates this motion. So when you even preview the story, this is how it will work. So, like this is, I'm not sure, I think there is some issue, but this is the intended behavior of this particular feature. So this can be really useful for times wherein, you have a comic book and you want to go from one section to the other section to the third section to the fourth section. So again, as I say, MakeStories is not for web stories, but it's much more than that. Then we have some.
Also, I mean, this can also be used by, let's say, SaaS marketers. It's if they have to showcase their,
Yeah,
features, right? Like you see it in other demos where they
I don't know.
zoom in.
Yeah, I don't know
What?
why is this not working as intended. I'll get this fixed ASAP, but it should work actually. But yeah, I think you're correct. Like, it's just the story, tap tap
Yep,
tap,
yep.
and then you have something called as auto advance, so you can just turn it on, and then like this again is a slide level setting, so you'll always have to do this on every slide. We know, but like this is something that we thought that it's always best to have it on the slide level. So this is all, and I think there's something called a share provider. So you can select, like when so here, if you see, you have a share provider. So here you have just the link. So if you select all of them, then like all of these sharing providers will come up in the sharing model. Now the thing is that when you click on publish, first you have the story title, then you have the story language. Then you put in the publisher details, logo, favicon, and then you set up the posters. So posters is something which is very crucial for times when you have this wherein your story comes on Discover. So you have to have a poster image for that. So let's say we select this image. Because as soon as this image is selected, you will get a cropper. Okay, and in this cropper, you will decide, okay, so this is what will come. Then you will select save and next. And this. And then you will save this posters. So you really do not have to go in and crop all these different, like versions of your poster image. We do it for you, or you just have to select what you will like to have. So just put in the publisher details, like, and you can put in the logo. Now this is something what we call as the guided publishing. So unless and until you do not fill up the everything, and the save and proceed won't come. There is a way to just skip that. You can actually always go and you can click on them, but like we have used this kind of dark UX to, and we don't we ultimately tell it to people, but we want the you to holistically follow this, and it is only for your good. Because if you fill up everything, let's say for example you put in like this is the article and you put in all those details, we create the JSON, like the schema JSON for you, and then you can always put in the meta tags and everything. This is something which is very beautiful, and I love this the most. This is something called a story validation. So here it tells you that, okay, your story title is very short, so you can just update your story title. Then it says that you should have at least 5 pages. Then it says that you do not have, you should have 500 characters. Currently you have 0 characters, so you can just, it takes you back to the editor, tells you put in all those things. So it gets the work done from you. Then if you have multiple images, for example, I have only one image, okay? But if you had multiple images, it will put in the previous next thing, and then it will make sure that you put in the alt tag for all your images. Then here is where you will set up your analytics FB pixel and the like the ad slot, and then finally on the publish you will select a domain. You will proceed, and then you will add your slug. And what you can also do is you can schedule your story. So for example, I want to schedule this for tomorrow, and I want to select a time. I can actually select a time, and my story will be published on that particular time. So this is how you can use MakeStories. Now, one final thing that we'll show is the new AI features. So, for example, let's pull up uh, RocketHub.com.
Let's pick up some questions, before that, like quickly we go through it.
Sure. At times, I
Perfect.
experienced by using URL to story feature that AI generates gibberish content. Vijay, please, raise a support ticket, and if you have an example, it would be really awesome. So then we can actually debug it.
Yep, send everything to support at
That makes sense.
makestories.io.
Yeah.
And if you can create a ticket, just raise a ticket. That way everything is streamlined. The team's pretty active in replying, so you will get your response.
Yeah. Can I use an exported story on another side? Really need to understand this. Ideally, you should, like if you're using those bubbles, I'm not sure how bad it will be for the SEO of the other side. For your stories, it's awesome, but you should ideally have one story on one, like site URL, like one brand, one URL. Don't cross it. May I know the possibility to create stories by URL in bulk? This is not something that we will do very soon because we are not a firm believer of bulk stuff, because I've been in doing a lot of SEO for myself, and I feel it's not a good way to do stuff. So not sure we're going to do that soon. It also takes more than 200 for a slide very often. How do we fix it? If you are there any plans to fix it? Like, mm, I'm not sure if I understand this question. This is my experience. Okay.
There's already something made on Make Stories.
Yeah, no, but I'm trying to understand. Okay, so Abhishek, you can connect with me, and I'll see how I can help you. I don't have 11 Labs account, but I'm using Air Voice VIP Voice. Can I have animation based on voice sync with the text? I don't think that we would be happy to meet them and get this API implemented. So please connect with someone at Airvoice, and we'll see what we can do. There's a tool have a
Even
data
creating 11
analysis.
apps, I think it's pretty easy to create a API key. I think we can always, I think I've referred someone to the YouTube link on how to create one. I think it's pretty easy if you can do that. Otherwise, because we can figure out more integrations.
Yeah. So for your question about the quiz and polls, yeah, you have this thing. Like you have something called as interactive results. So in the interactive analytics, you can get all those details. API access available to use with an automation tool like Make or Boost Space. So the API access would be only to create stories using API, and these stories will be saved as a draft in your account. So we'll be opening it up pretty soon. It's in the works. There are something that is we are working on, but I think in the next week or two we should be there. More details in text to speech, auto AI captions, and AI voice cloning. So, AI voice cloning, yes, you can do it on 11 labs. So, even our own, like for MRR customers, we are using our 11 labs enterprise account. Auto AI captions is something like there are two auto AI captions, one which is done while creating the stories, that is available for everyone. Text to speech, again, this is with the 11 labs. But just captioning the video is something that we will be giving only to our enterprise customers. It won't be even for the Make Stories MRR customers. So there are two things on the website. Number one is the auto captions, like captioning the video, and the second one is the magic cut. So both of those features will be for only for our enterprise customers, because it really is difficult to like give away the AI captioning and magic cut for only $57 per user per month. So even it does not make sense for our MRR customers. So it's definitely not coming for LTD at all. It would be great if you could suggest SEO related elements. Yeah, I think this is a good feature. As what you can do is you can send an email to support@makestories.io. For MakeStories, we do not have a public roadmap because we feel that the product is quite mature enough, and we can actually like do it over an email. So do we have an iframe embed for the stories? I think not an iframe embed, but you can always create widgets. And then I think once you publish the story, let me actually go there. Actually, I have not. I've been so busy with make forms lately, and like I've I've not even published a story for a while. So I think, in fact, you can actually embed it using iframe. Sorry, that's my bad.
Lot of features and you don't
Yeah.
even know if it's doing so good.
So, yeah. So let's say if you have this published, you can copy the embed code. Yeah, yeah. I remember that I had this created because so you have this embed code using iframe. Yeah, you can do that. So for that, you'll have to first publish the story. Without that, you won't be able to embed. Hey, Sina, it's always nice to meet you. Is there a way to export stories to another workspace like we can do in no, I don't think there's such a feature. Let me double check that for you. As much as I know, no, there's no such export feature. How about giving limited access to those? No, we won't. There's something in the like maybe a current can tell you more about that, but we might have something for you guys very soon. But it might not be within Make Stories because it won't be sustainable.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff coming in. So I think that make stories, I think the use case what you're talking about, that won't fit. I think that's a
Yep.
completely different word altogether, which we're looking at. This is you should of course, I think you're already using it, Abhishek, make stories, so you know what's the best use case for make stories.
Yeah,
I think that we if you use it, include that insight over here, it won't make sense for the product altogether,
exactly.
right? So that's a different thing.
So now coming back to this, so with the AI story creation, what you can do is you can select like how many slides you want to have. Then you can say enter a topic. So for example, I would say health benefits of eating a pizza, for example. And then you can always have a voiceover. So these are for our MRR customers. If you have connected your 11 labs, you'll have to sync them once, and your voices will come up over here. Let's say I select Mark. Make Stories helps. And we click on proceed. So now what it does is that it actually creates the options for you. So let's say you have three different content ideas. Okay. So first it will give you the title, and then what it will do is it will create slide by slide content for you. So and here you can do two things. Number one, you can just give it the content idea. The second option is to bring in your URL. So you can convert a URL into a web story. So now here it has given us two options already. Okay. And these are the three options. Let's say I like this one. So I will click on review story. Now, when you do that, here it will give you all these options. So you have the title, then you have the content. And if you don't like this image, you can always generate an image using AI. So these are all the different options that you have. So now we will just go on, proceed to selecting template. And now here we have certain make stories templates. I will select a template, and you can see that my story is almost there. So now all I have to go is click on proceed. And now when I do this, what it will do is it also generate a voiceover for each and every slide and content that we have. And it will also captionize it. So it takes a decent 1 minute. So now when you So here we can see that here we have all these captions one below the other. So what it has done is that it has converted the text into the audio, and where you can also play this.
Explore the surprising truth about pizza and its potential as a nutritious meal.
So this is how you can actually, create this.
Pretty clear voices. And even like the voiceover, the I think the artist is very good. I don't know who it is.
Yeah. And then you can always remove the background. You can always align things, and like it's all drag and drop. And you can see this by the fact that the product is so polished because it's been built over the past 5 years. And you can, while you are inside the editor, you can always go in and you can switch the language, and you can set up the editor in your own language. So I think that's it. We've given a pretty comprehensive demo. So any other
Let's
questions?
enter some let's enter some questions which we have kind of, you know, witnessed across of the groups, right? I think that's also can answer a lot of queries. I think number one thing was people asking about the monetization aspect, right? And of monetization, and of course showing people live examples of various stories which are already on the web, right? So let's say if we can showcase them, who is already using it for to gain more traction. And third aspect is about the SEO aspect, right? I mean, how it can boost the SEO traffic, because I think getting more free traffic through web stories is an advantage for many, so that we can discuss those features.
Yeah. So
Those
now, like,
Pizza as a health food.
so this is something that I wanted to show.
Explore the surprising truth about pizza and its potential.
So this is one thing. And now, so when it comes to monetization, there are a few things that you need to remember. So web stories, to like to display and to discover, is available only in 3 countries. But advertising in web stories, inside web stories, is for everyone. Like there is no restriction on like which country will be able to show ads within their stories. So as I did mention, like this almashad.com, which is a Dubai-based news company. In their stories, if you see, they really, like their stories has the ads coming up sometime. So if you have a Google Ads or Google 360, and you can get that ad code, you can always monetize. So there is no restriction on the monetization per se, but again, you are dependent definitely on Google. Google decides when they want to show the ads. So for example, like NDTV is and India's biggest, publisher.
news.
Yeah. So if you see their stories, also it depends like how slowly are you going, because Google wants you to read each and every text. So if you are like just clicking, ding, 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 it won't help.
It's not Instagram. You
Yeah.
just swiping through.
And then there is a, so now you see the ad came in. So it, and the another problem with Google is that they show the stories, like the ads in the stories only after the seventh slide. So I feel that this is also one of the reason, like many people don't like web stories. But I think it's everyone should see it not as a web story creation tool, but like a lot of things that you can do with the web story, like your polling, and always if you have a decent traffic to your website, always create stories and then monetize them. Do I need a WordPress or hosting, or are we required? You can just have a domain. That's it. And you can also create a web story only website too. So in that case, what you'll have to do is you'll have to connect with our team, and they will help you set up the web stories on your root domain. How much would it cost to add additional workspace to our LTD deals in the future? I'm not sure if we have thought about that yet. I would always recommend to max out, so you don't.
Yep. You don't need to kind of purchase more. I mean, but if you grow into, let's say, a 500 people company in the future, always
Correct.
Pratik, yeah, always Pratik is there. I mean, you can get the monthly plans if you have more, of course, if you grow out. into a 1,000 people company, but otherwise you won't need it.
And then Franco says that how have you a blog where you explain how and where to exploit the website? Yeah, I think we have a blog, plus we also have a MakeStories university websites. On the university, you will like it's me who has done all the video lectures, so you can always go through
Go
that.
to university.makestories.io, and I think there you will find all the knowledge base. I think all the guides and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know,
but it's a little old,
yeah.
so like it kind of gets at a place wherein you will see a little bit of old dashboard and stuff. So, but the editor is not changed much. Cool.
I think also let's talk about the SEO aspect, right? I think because many of the people who run, let's say, news sites, right, they would have this question, okay, I have some good traffic coming in, but what if I add web stories? Will it be a nitro into my already going, already supercar which is going in? How does that help out?
I would say that number one, you need to be persistent. You cannot be creating like 2, 3 web stories and then expecting that, oh, I will get it far.
Yeah,
So,
same goes to my blog post, stuff like that. Yeah.
so consistency is the key, I would say. Create stories, don't overdo it. Like, don't do 500 stories a day because just you've got the AI. So I'll just go and build a momentum. I would say start with 2, 3 stories a day, then grow to 5 stories. Should not go more than 10 to 12 stories a day is what I think. Because so Google has this chicken egg problem. Okay, they didn't have the stories, uh, and now like since they did not have the stories, they did not have the ads, and there was no ad because there were no stories. And so now, so to fix that problem, Google said that okay, we'll grow the ecosystem. The ecosystem has now become a little mature. Also now, initially, if we are talking like let's say a year and a half from now, the story ads won't even show up after the seventh slide. But now they at least show up, is what we have seen. So the ecosystem is maturing. I would say the whole like the feedback that Abhishek has given about the trending topics is something that we are seriously thinking about it, how to do that. And I think that will be a huge boost to the entire eco, like the for the stories. And actually, I can show you.
Yep.
So it's not that I'm just talking about it here. So if you see on Friday, this is like an internal admin group that we have. And the topic that we have is get trending topics from Google while creating stories. So it's not that like we just talk about it. And if you even see uh there are on the agenda, there are things like make stories
Next
API
step.
story creation. There's of course there are make forms and there are things that you guys should not see because there are also things about our other products that we'll be launching soon. So I would say uh, even if you do not have a clarity about what Google is going to do with web stories, I think with all this like crazy LTDs coming in and you guys dumping in on so much of AI products, this is one thing that you should definitely put your money in because uh, even if it like you guys are individuals have been gambling on so many things, but there is this thing that actually works even if it's not working for traffic from Google. You can always have it for like creating videos and things like
Social
that.
media.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
No,
All right.
so yeah, in the default display page, does the audience get to option? No, they do not get any option to filter. But I think drop an email as I said, and we'll see what we can do.
I think there are some workspace related questions which we even saw on the group. I think someone asked for the BYOK features, right? The voice and the text to speech, the images. Is it possible to configure API keys for each workspace independently?
Yeah, I think it's all on the workspace level only. If it's not, then I think I can get that done because lately, like I've been more focused on the entire product, like how this entire AI feature will be driven. So if you see this entire flow of putting in the entire, what do you say, the the content idea to the review screen, I've been more focused on that entire journey of AI creation. So I'm not 100% sure if the API keys are on the workspace level. If they are not, I think I can get that done. So yeah, let me get back to you guys on that.
And the and users can be separated into each workspace, correct?
Yeah, the users can be separated into each workspace. So
Okay,
uh,
all right.
so the catch here is that the MRR customers definitely get unlimited workspaces because there they pay on per user basis. But here, it's like, it's not on per user basis. So that's the reason, like there is a restriction on the number of workspace on every plan.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool.
I think super page, I think they already answered that question. Yeah, even if Google drop web stories, they can definitely help with paging. Yeah, I mean, again, you're creating a vertical content, right, which you can share on Instagram, and so all of those tools which you see, that they just do one job. I think here you have getting multiple use cases in one single tool. So I think if you can catch on that, that won't be any of a worry, you know.
Yep. I think that makes sense.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right, folks. I think maybe just closing in. So if you have any other question, like you can drop it in. I think we're just wrapping it up in another 3 minutes. So if you have anything, just drop in the Q&A box and grab the deal from RocketHub. It's going good when it comes to recognition. That makes stories. No one denies that it's not a good tool. It's one of the best tools out there. They're the pioneers, so no one can beat a pioneer, right? Because pioneers will be the one who will be innovating. The new ones will come and go, but pioneers
And
will
they would
stay
change,
there.
and they would change the names also.
Or
All right.
okay, okay, Francois, thanks for this webinar. All right,
All
okay,
right.
folks, it was good to have all of you. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks, Pratik, for your time. And we would share this recording. We upload this on YouTube. And if you join in late, you can watch this again and then go and grab the tea right now from RocketHub. It's signing out. All right. Thanks again. Thanks.
Bye.
All right, Pratik. Bye bye. Take care.